Good morning. Can everyone hear me just fine? Can you hear me, Mr. George? Amen. Amen. It is so glad to be here with you all. I have been looking forward to coming and being with you. When Ann asked me to come and speak, I said, yes, of course I'll come and speak about the things that's closest to me, I'm passionate about, and that is water. The topic that I chose, the title that I chose, A River Runs Through It. Jackson, the city of Jackson, a river runs through this county, the mighty Grand River. I wasn't raised around the Grand River. I was raised around the Saginaw River. But for the last 30 years, I have been working in and around the waters of Michigan. And I'll tell you, the Grand River is the longest river in the state of Michigan. It stretches a long way. All of us, we have to take care of the water that we have. There is no new water. There's going to be no new water. The water that we have right now, we have to take care of it. So in the city of Jackson, I am the industrial pretreatment supervisor. That means I'm the sewer police lady. Yes, there's somebody policing the wastewater. People think the wastewater, what's that? Where do we get that from? Do we drink the same water that's the waste? Some people had that thinking that the wastewater and the water treatment was the same, but it's not. We have two different plants on opposite ends of the city. We have the water treatment plant, which all of that water, clean water, comes from aquifers, wells located around the city. If you enjoy Cascades Park, the wells are underneath the park. So the water is then drawn into the plant, it is cleaned up, and then it is serviced out to the residents in Jackson County. Now in your homes and your businesses, when you flush your toilets, take your baths, wash your clothes, brush your teeth, all of that water is wastewater. It goes down your drain, down into the street, and makes its way to the wastewater treatment plant. That's where I work at, on Lansing Avenue, where the train and the ducks is at. You all know where that place is at. Come see me sometime. Take a tour. It is a fascinating place to see. Now, at that place, we treat anywhere from 10 to 30 million gallons of wastewater. Now, the last couple of days when all that rain happened, we had so much water that it was just kind of bust, and we had to put it into retention basins and everything because there was so much water. But with that water comes a whole lot of other things. All the things people threw out their cars into the street, all the things that people let flush down the toilet. People let a lot of things flush down the toilet. Could you imagine some of the things I have seen in the last 30 years? Some of the phone calls I have gotten, did you find my teeth? I was like, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't find your teeth, but if I found them, you would not want them back. People lose jewelry, just all types of precious things. Kids, they flush their toys and trucks and baby dolls and everything. Over at the prison, the inmates, when they're in an uproar, when they just not happy about something, their clothes, their linen, the sheets, the towels, they would flush their mother if they could get it down that drain. And so, with this thing about water, when the uproar with Flint, people thought, oh my God, what a travesty. How could this happen in the United States of America where water flows freely? It happened, but it's not the first time. It won't be the last time, because the water that we have, it is regulated. It was regulated in Flint. We all have something in the water. Sometimes you may turn on your water and it may be a little brownish color or a grayish color, or you may have a smell to it. If you have any of those things going on with your water, it's not normal. All you have to do is pick up the telephone and call the city and say, hey, I have a problem with my water. Whether it's the city pipes or your pipes, some of our homes are older and the pipes have been there a long time. And those pipes degenerate. But we do the best that we can with the city with the drinking water. We test that water 3 times a day for a whole slew of things. Lead is one of those things that we test for. We do not have a lead problem here. But I will tell you, as I told someone downstairs, with the water coming from the ground, see, water do drop down out the sky. When you do the water table, maybe you've seen it as a kid or in college or whatever, what goes down, up must come down. That's very true. But the water has to come from the earth. Mother Earth, God gave us this earth, and the water came from it. And so along with it, you got minerals, you got metals, you got all of those things from the earth that we, at the water treatment plant, we try to filter out. We filter out as much as we can. We put additives and different chemicals in the water so that we can get the water tasting the best that we can. And when the water is not treated correctly, you have the problem that you had in Flint, which was a very fixable problem, but someone didn't fix it. Someone knew that there was a problem, but they didn't do anything about it. I'm sure the people in this sanctuary right now, you care about the water that you drink. You should also care about the water that you flush. Sometimes you think the water that you flush is just water and that you can just put anything in it, but you can't, because the water that you flush down your toilet, down your sinks, it all comes to the wastewater treatment plant, and we too have to clean it. We got these little bitty bugs, microorganisms, and they eat the poop. They love the poop, but they don't love the other things. They don't love the medications. That, oh, we got this extra bottle of grandma pill. She's not here anymore. I'm not using this anymore. So I'm going to just pour it down the toilet. I'm going to get rid of it. No, you don't. Please don't. Because the wastewater treatment plant, we can only treat 3 things: the poop, the water, and the paper, because it degenerates with all that water. All those other things, there's nothing we can do with it. Industries. I'm over 31 industries in the city and the surrounding townships. Blackman Township, Sandstone, Rive Junction, Napoleon. I cover all of that area, and I make sure that those industries are not putting anything toxic down the sewer system that they're not supposed to. So when that water comes and we have to treat that water, anything that I cannot treat, it either ends up in our biosolids, which some of them are land applied to non-food farmers' fields, or they end up in the landfill. So we have to treat all of that the best that we can, but we need everybody's help to do that. Because once it goes through our treatment process and it goes to the mighty Grand River, Mother Earth's going to do its portion. But the fish and the different organisms that live in the Grand River and the water basin that's connected to the upper and the lower Grand River and the watershed, we have a problem, people. We have female fish that are now male fish and vice versa. We have fish that you go out fishing on a nice, beautiful day, you catch a fish and you gut them open, and you find all this cancer in them, all these dark brown spots in your fish, or on the outside of your fish, some type of growth. It's from all our antibiotics. It's from all our medications. I know we as a people, we get sick sometimes, and we have to take medication. But it flushes through us, and it comes out natural, and it enters into the wastewater treatment plant, and it passes through the wastewater treatment plant to the Grand River. So I ask once again, limit, if you can, the medication that you take. If you have to take it, you have to take it. But don't dispose of it down the drain when you're finished with it. We have take-back days where you can come. You can come any day of the week, 24 hours a day, to the city police department or to the state police department and give any unwanted drugs back. So you don't have to flush them. You don't have to get rid of them. If you had a loved one that's on hospice, they'll take care of those the right way. They don't take those and flush them just to get rid of them. But once again, we have just an epidemic of things going on with the drugs as well in Jackson with the opiate use. And we find, too, that because so many people are on those illicit drugs, once again, some of the testing that I do as the chemist for the city of Jackson, I find these elevated levels of different chemicals because of the elevated use of opiates. It passes right through those people as well. So we, as river masters, we are all river masters. We are masters of the river. We control what we put in the rivers. We control what we put down the drain. And I'll do my best, as I always do, to make sure that the water is treated the way it's supposed to be treated, that the water is drinkable. If you pay a water bill in different areas around Jackson, I should not see cases of water stacked up at your house. Because you pay a water bill, drink the water. I drink the water. I tell people, when I stop drinking the water, and I drink it at your church, I drink it at your house, I drink it anywhere. When I stop drinking the water from the tap, then you know there's a problem. But if there's a problem, I'm going to tell you, hey, there's a problem with the drinking water. None of us going to drink it until I fix it. We're going to get it fixed if there's a problem. But as far as I know, there have been no issues with the water in Jackson. I've only been in Jackson for 10 years. I came from city of Saginaw after 22 years doing the same job, and I never had an issue there. I worked at the water and the wastewater treatment plants. So I've always tried to make sure that the water is clean, that the water at the wastewater treatment plant, we have more restrictions than the water treatment plant does because our water goes to the mighty Grand River. We have to make sure that water is clean. So I brought downstairs a sample of what the water looks like in the end. You can imagine what it looks like in the beginning. I think we all know what that looks like. But the end part is what's important. What the limits are. We make sure that we meet the limits every month, every day of what goes down the drain, what goes back out to the Grand River. What I would ask for you to do every day is just think, what would it be like a day without water? I mean, no water. A day without water. Could you imagine a day without water? No water. Don't even think about it. You have no water. So you might have a little hand sanitizer, clean your hands. You can't flush your toilets. Just think about that. A day without water. It would be almost impossible to to imagine a day without water. But I ask you to think about that sometimes in your day to day and begin to thank God for the water that you have and the things that you have and be grateful that we here in the city of Jackson, we have good water. In all the surrounding communities, we have good water. In California, the water that comes from the wastewater treatment plant is diverted back to the water treatment plant, and they clean it up and they serve it back to their customers. So it just goes right back around because they have no way to get clean water like we do. We're blessed. The state of Michigan, we're blessed. But there's only 1% of clean water on this earth. Drinkable human consumption of water on this earth. Not just Michigan, not just the United States. All the rest of it is salt water. And they have been working very hard in California and other states to try to take some seawater, clean it up, and give it to his people. It's not working. It's not working. All the things that come from the production of 1 gallon of water, then they have nowhere to put all the salt. So they're having a hard time. Where are we going to put the salt? You can't put it back close to the ocean because it just goes back. And then it makes it more concentrated. So what do? So they build pipelines to try to get water from different places. They dig deep into the soil. Fracking, you know what fracking is. Some of you may be against fracking or different things, but they're digging deep into the earth to try to hit some of those things. But unfortunately, what they're finding is that fracking is causing the earth level to crack. All these weird things that's going on, all these earthquakes, all these tsunamis, and all these other things. That's people messing around with God's earth. It's not just oops, by the way. No, it's some other things that's going on that's making all of these things happen. So water is very precious. The Lord knew water. He speaks about it so many times in the Bible, about water and life. It all goes together. That's all we have. It's the water that we have and the life that we have. So in conclusion, I pray and I ask you to think about the water. Next time you're out fishing, next time you're out boating or jetting, or you're just at home, or you're watering your grass, or you're washing your car, just think that water has to go someplace. It has to go someplace. So the less detergents and the less things we do to the water, the better we'll all be. I left some tips downstairs for you you can, get and pick up, and how you can handle water and what you can do. If at any time you have any questions, you can always call me. I've invited you to come see me already. We're here to serve you, the people of Jackson County, and we thank you for taking care of the water. Thank you.